All right, with 27, the biggest thing here is if you can get the denominators to all be the same and then look at the top, then you can basically solve for r sub 1. Okay? Don't let, just because there's an r sub 1 and an r sub 2, don't let that be a deterrent or something that's going to make you struggle with it. So basically, really what I would look at is, like, what am I missing from this denominator? R1 and R2, right? So I'm going to take r sub 1 times r sub 2 to both the top and the bottom of the first one. What am I missing from the second fraction? R2 and R, right? So then the top is R times R sub 2. Same way on the last one, the pieces that I am missing from the bottom here are going to be R and R sub 1. So realistically, it doesn't matter so much as far as the the denominator is concerned. Really what I would do is I would really just worry about the top side, because the bottom side is now all the same and there's a lot less things that I have to worry about. So if I have r sub 1 times r sub 2 equal to r times r sub 2 plus r times r sub 1. So I'm solving for r sub 1. So what I want to do is I want to get everything that's r sub 1 together. So I have two parts that have an r sub 1 in there, and it's here and here. So I need to get them all to one side with each other. So in doing that, it doesn't really matter which one you move. I would move the one that's on the heavier side, or the one that has two terms instead of just the one. So what I would do is I would have r sub 1 times r sub 2, and then I would subtract r times r sub 1. Okay, I'd basically just subtract r times r sub 1 to the other side, leaving me with r times r sub 2. Once you get everything over here, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to factor out an r sub 1. Okay, because I have an r sub 1 in both terms. So then what I'm going to do next is going to be r sub 1 times r sub 2 minus r equals r times r sub 2. Now, what are we really doing whenever we're distributing or whenever we factor it out? Like, what's really going on right here? Are we adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? We're multiplying, right? So what do I need to do to both sides? What do I need to divide both sides by? Yeah, whatever's in the parenthesis, right? So I can get r sub 1 by itself. So I'm going to basically divide r sub 2 minus r from both sides. It cancels here and it cancels there, leaving me with a final answer of r sub 1 equals r times r sub 2, and then r sub 2 minus r. I can't do anything else because one's a multiplication problem, one's a subtraction problem, so my final answer is just right here. What I would suggest on something like this, if you can basically rewrite like r as an x, or r sub 1 as a y, r sub 2 as a z, so then you just have one term. If that's going to be easier for you, do it that way. Okay? Rewrite the problem and just give it its own term, and give it so you don't have all these r's going in every which direction. Make it x and y and z, or a and b and c. You just have to know which one you're actually solving for. Okay, just to kind of give you another idea of a way to attack it.